Who is Legion? If we turn to Luke chapter 8, verses 27 to 35, we will read the story of a man who had severe mental disorders. He calls himself Legion, but that is not his real name. He called himself Legion because he had a multitude of problems. He lived in the tombs without clothing and was bound with chains because he was considered a danger to society. Jesus healed this man of his mental disorders in a very dramatic way to demonstrate the power of God. Jesus outwardly accepted the man's statements about himself as true in order to gain his attention and make healing possible. The man gives his name as, "My name is Legion, for we are many." Demon possession is another form of insanity, but there is only one form of sanity. The name of insanity is Legion, for it is many. The name of sin is Legion, for there are so many. The name of negativity is Legion, for there is so much. But what is the name of the gospel? What is the name of truth? It is not Legion, for there are not many, but only one. He had often been bound with chains, but as often he rent them asunder, the crying out and cutting himself night and day with stones. This is consistent with self-harm, the pain of depression that is going on in the mind when unclean or impure thoughts take possession of it. This is because of our sinful nature or our sinful flesh. When asked his name, the man replied, "My name is Legion, for we are many." He identified himself with the adverse state of mind that he thought of as demons because he was powerless to control them. From what legion of demons does a believer still have to be delivered when he falls into an adverse state of consciousness? A believer finds himself subject to countless fears. These are demons that must be overcome before he can know the true real self of the Christ consciousness. Is self-will an unclean spirit? It is, because it cannot be identified with the Christ consciousness, and whatever is not sanctified by the Christ consciousness is identified with sin and uncleanness. Then they went out to see what was done, and came to Jesus, and found the man, out of whom the demons were departed, sitting at the feet of Jesus, clothed and in his right mind, and they were afraid. It is significant that when the man was under the influence of these mental problems, the people thought of them as demons. After he was cured, they understood that he was now in his right mind. Today we would understand that when he was ill, he was crazy, nuts, out of his mind, insane, a lunatic, etc. We are not under the same influence of superstition, and we therefore identify the problem in more rational terms. After Jesus commanded the spirits to come out of the man, he cried out, saying, "What have I to do with thee, Jesus, thou Son of God Most High? I beseech thee, torment me not." This man knew better than anyone that a great miracle had been performed, and Jesus must be the Son of God. He was inspired to cry out so that his healing would remain as a testimony to the power and authority of Jesus the Messiah. Jesus uses the occasion to provide two witnesses. The first witness was the man in his right mind. The second was the transfer of the mental disorders to the swine. Their resulting madness showed clearly that a miracle had taken place.